was my path to becoming a cruise director? So I, in 2016, came to the company Carnival Cruise Lines after being sailing on the ships for years and years and years and years and years. I basically knew, oh hey Dad, I knew that I wanted to be a cruise director as soon as I got to college. The very first day I got to college, my best friend found out that he could work on a cruise line and get paid for it, and I was like, what? And he said, yeah, I'm going to Norwegian Cruise Line. Blech, horrible, traitor. But I realized that I could do that fast, so whenever I came to college, I became a tourism management major. First day there, and literally walked into class, and I was like, I'm going to change my major. And he goes, oh, why you change your major? I said, well, because my friend said it stands for RPTS. And they're like, yeah, Recreation, Park, and Tourism Sciences. And I was like, no, he said it stood for rather party than study. I'm signing up for those classes. So literally day one of college, I knew I wanted to be a cruise director for the best cruise line in the world, which is Carnival Cruise Lines. And I went through all my college's courses, and before I graduated, we had to do an internship that had 400 hours of work, right? And so I was looking through internships, and it was the very first year Carnival had ever put out an internship that was done on board, not in the head office. And so I immediately got everything together. The day that it opened, I applied, and luckily, Mary Buckley, the person that was in charge of recruiting, came to A&M that year, and she had done the internship convention. Basically, I had a little setup there, and there was Carnival. I was like, what is the odds of this? So I walked up and I was like, hi, this is my demo video. Here's my application. Here's all my resume, my recommendations. How do I get this job? And she was like, send me your application number when you submit it. And I was like, absolutely. So I actually have a very unconventional way of getting into the company. If I didn't actually have an interview, I literally sent myself over to her. She watched it there, and then she basically said, congratulations, here's the job. And then they said, emailed me, I'm like, you have an interview. And I was like, but I have the job now, so I'm a little confused. So I came in as an intern, long story short, came in as an intern, did 3 months in 2016, partied my face off, had the best time ever, got all the copies, was on all the gangways, and had all the fun. And then I went back, finished school that December, and then I came in as Fun Squad. So Fun Squad is like Miss Sarah right here. She's a senior Fun Squad. Lawrence is a senior Fun Squad. And there's a couple different ways to get up to a senior Fun Squad. So you come in at junior, then you raise to mid-level, then you become senior. Once you're senior, basically, you're ready to take over or push this cruise director down the stairs. So you can be the cruise director. That's why Lauren's trying to fake that knee injury. So they're basically, that's where the route that I came up. I worked in 2006, so I did that internship in 2016. In 2017, I put my nose to the grindstone and basically worked for 48 of the 52 weeks of the year and kind of made myself known in the company. And by the end of that year, I've been offered the inaugural ship on Horizon to go as Fun Squad, which is a huge step and like any Fun Squad's career to take out a brand new ship because it's a very big, high-profile thing. They only take the best of the best. And so I went there and did that, and by the end of that contract, they had offered me cruise director. I then covered as cruise director for a couple months, bounced around from ship to ship to ship, and then at the end of my third cover as cruise director, they offered the full-time position. So within 2 years of actually being hired from the company, 2018, I was hired fully as a Carnival cruise director, the youngest cruise director in the fleet, and the youngest cruise director ever to be promoted at 22. Wow. I don't know who told me I was allowed to do that, but here I was, 22, thinking I could run a ship, just running around, causing all the havoc. But it was a really, really great experience. And I've learned a lot since then. I'm now 26. And I've not even been a cruise director for 4 years. I do not know how time works. I went into the pandemic at 24, and I came out 26. And we were only gone for 15 months, right? I was like in my prime. I was like, man, I'm 24, I'm rocking and rolling, I'm out here on a cruise. Pandemic, boom, no, you're 26, you're on the back half of your 20s, and now you gotta keep up with all the young bucks. And I was like, can't do it anymore, can't do it. I guess I can, I can do it for a long time. Just get out the way. But yes, that was the path to cruise director. A long-winded, very intricate, very detailed story. Yeah. Of course, thank you, Miss Jennifer. Who's got another question? This young lady back over here. Are you loud or are you soft-spoken?
I got you.
Oh, it's coming. Okay. What's your name, beautiful?
Lisa.
Lisa, where are you from?
California.
Lisa from California. Lisa, what's your question, my dear?
How many hours a day, and is it at night or all throughout the day that you sleep?
Do I sleep? Lisa, when do I sleep? do I sleep? I'm a vampire, Lisa. Edward Cullen and your cousins. So I would say I sleep from like 1 till 6 solidly, and then I wake up in a mad panic being like, no, demarcation hasn't started yet. Or I'll wake up in a mad panic being like, no, it's not time for trivia. My brain never quite shuts off. So I would say I get maybe 5 to 6 solid hours of like truly mind cut off sleep a night, with some sprinkled naps in between, like a passing shower of naps. But then I have little naps throughout the day if I've got 10 minutes here, 30 minutes there. I learned a trick ages ago. I took yoga when I was at A&M, and they said if you ever don't have time for a full hour nap or a full 30-minute nap, if you sit with your butt up against the wall and your legs going straight up, the blood having to push itself through to your feet causes it to rejuvenate your whole body. So by the time you come down, if you sit like that for 10 minutes, and you come and you stand back up again, it's like you got a 30-minute nap, even if you've never slept a week, right? 10 minutes with your legs at the wall. So basically, my room steward is always really terrified when he comes in and I'm just sat there on the floor with my legs up the wall. He's like, Kendall, again? And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have time for a nap. But I do a lot of that. But yeah, sleep is not something that I get for 6 months, right? 6 months on and then 6 minutes off. And so I work that, and by the time that I get home, the first 72 hours of vacation is spent in bed, completely hibernating. My mom will walk in and I'll be like, "Ma, water, food." She brings me a Whataburger and then she runs away. And so yeah, so sleep is not something that we're really big fans of here. We don't like to do that because we like to work. We really do. So yeah, no sleep. No rest for the wicked. Not a dang lick. Who's got a question, you guys? Yes, right here in the front. What's your name?
Terry.
Terry, where you from?
Texas.
Terry from Texas. TT. Where in Texas?
Conroe.
Conroe, Texas. Isn't that in East Texas?
No.
Where's Conroe at? Oh, that's Houston. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of my ex-boyfriend, Conroe. Right. Right, so you're down here in Houston. What's going on? Thanks for traveling so far to be with us. 45 minutes. Woof. What's your question, Terry?
How often do people go to the jail?
How often do people go to the jail? Are you talking about the brig?
Yeah.
The brig downstairs. Listen, I go there all the time because it is a padded cell with no windows and is great for that 30-minute nap, all right? No one, in all the years that I worked on ships, I don't think I've ever had anyone on any of my ships go to the brig. Typically, you either get confined to your cabin, to your luxurious cabin. But the biggest reason it's down there is right next to the morgue, actually. And I'm not kidding. Also a great place to take a nap. The company is so quiet. And it's so cold in there. So get your wrap a nice blanket up. That's really dark. It's super dark. It's a padded cell that no one ever really goes into. To be honest, it's not used very often. The only time anyone would ever go in there if they're causing a harm to not only themselves, but others around them. So we put all the pirates in there, right? It's the pirates. It's a big old padded cell. No one's ever gone in it that I've ever seen. So not very often, to answer your question.
How do you get confined to your room?
How do you get confined to your room? Someone has to sit outside your cabin door and you're not allowed to leave it. They bring you food. If you got a balcony, you get put into a room that doesn't have a balcony. No one, because at the end of the day, you paid for the cruise, right? If you make a mistake and you really mess up and you gotta be confined to your cabin, we don't want to put you somewhere that you don't see the light of day. So we'll put you in a cabin with a window, or we'll put you in a room with a painting of a window, and that's as good as it gets. But no one ever really goes to the brig. Can you imagine how bad you'd have to be to go to the brig on a cruise ship? They stole 15 drinks after they already passed their 15 drinks to the brig. Crossing up with the cheers program. I know y'all do it. I know the secrets. Who's got a question? Yes, ma'am, right here. What's your name?
Dora.
Dora the Explorer. What's going on, Dora?
Have you ever had any weird experiences or like a creeper?
A creeper on a cruise ship?
Yeah.
Yes, all the time. I don't mean that in a vain way. You just sometimes get those oddballs that they pick a vacation and they've never left the confines of their rock, and they crawl out from under their rock and they get on a cruise ship and they are just odd. Right? It happens sometimes, and that's okay. Not everyone is the same. we've had some questionable people, and a lot of times, like I said, my fun squad, they do a lot for me. They make me look good. They run around on the ship all the time, and sometimes they have to be security for if that person is just like infatuated that cruise with the cruise director. Like, and again, by no means am I so vain to think that I'm like, oh my God, they just love me so much. Some people just, it's like another being, right? I'm just like a microphone, and all of a sudden I'm like Kerry Washington. But like they become infatuated with it being attached to the cruise director. And so sometimes you have to get the person away. You're like, right, go find something else to do. There's coloring in the library. Get away from me. Yeah, it's happened sometimes. Nothing so severe that they have to go to the brig. But definitely there's been times where I'm like, right, look out for Jerry, right? Jerry at the fun squad parties, you guys got to keep him away. And it'll be like, oh, Jerry, let's just walk over here. Let's just stay all the way away from this way from the kennel. So yeah, I wouldn't say anything too severe. But there's no severe. Facebook is the worst part of it. Which if you guys message me on Facebook, I'm so sorry, but my inbox is got all sorts of weird requests, like, can I get to know you better? You're coming on a cruise, you'll get to know me then. I'd like to know about your background. You know, my mom is also linked to my Facebook, and she's like, no, you cannot talk to my daughter that way. So yeah, so it's just one of those things. It comes with the territory, I guess. But it doesn't outweigh all the good people that want to come up and talk to me. That's way good. I'd rather have you guys come up and talk to me than like stand back and be like, oh my God, she's got a microphone, I can't talk to her. I always want to be super approachable, which sometimes I guess is the line you have to cross, but that's okay, because at the end, I want you guys to talk to me like I'm a person, because I am at the end of the day. I'm just a person. It doesn't matter if I got a microphone. I'm really loud though, so anyone can approach me. It's just easier with the microphone, so that's why I use the mic. But yeah, good question. Thanks for sharing, Dora. Right down here, Coach, what you got going on?
All right, so you're a month back.
A month back into cruising, yeah.
And anyway, nobody expects everything to be perfect the first week back or whatever.
Yeah.
So you've ironed out some kinks from week 1 to week 4 now.
Definitely.
What are some of the progress that's been made that you've noticed, and cruise passengers have
Right.
noticed?
So this is Coach down here. Coach has been hanging out with us on a couple cruises now, and we've had a lot of things happen from week 1, and slowly but surely we've learned over the processes of our time through it. We're on week 4 now, and so there's been a lot of things that we've learned and we've tweaked, because coming back, we had taken 50 years, right, to get to the standards we were at before the pandemic. And it took us years and years and years to iron out the perfect programming, the perfect service skills, the perfect techniques, and then 15 months happened, and everyone gets a little bit rusty, and you come back, and you gotta remember all those little things that you did to make it an absolutely perfect cruise. So there's been things that we did from the first cruise to now we've ironed out. Some of the things that, like, even just timings of like when you're walking the floor, when the events are, how the events run, who is there, what's the staffing like, and for example, like dining rooms, the times that people are showing up to the dining rooms now, the amount of people they need to have in the dining rooms at those times to kind of accommodate. So it's little things like that that really make a difference to the experience that we kind of ironed out over the past 4 weeks. For example, the very first cruise on July 4th, we found out we couldn't have any of the atrium parties, right? Everyone loves the atrium parties. The White Night, 80s Night, Motown Showdown, farewell party. Well, we can't have any of those there, and so they said take them upstairs. We realized that putting too much upstairs it just kind of negated the fact of the big party. So we chose the best of the best. So we got the Mega Tech party, we got the 80s party upstairs, because those were our 2 best events, and it kind of kept the livelihood, getting guys time to rest. Things like that we kind of tweaked since the very first cruise. For the timings that things are open, from like the Sky Ride, whenever you guys are going to the movies, when the movies should go, things like that are what we kind of ironed out through the last 4 weeks. For myself, I've seen that being on the floor more and walking the floor and walking the dining rooms and seeing you guys has been way, way more fruitful than throwing another Lido party in, because I get to go and talk to you guys on a one-on-one basis rather than standing on a stage very distant and kind of just like yelling at you to do the Macarena for the 10th time. So it's been little things like that I've kind of been able to tweak and work into the normal program to make it a much better experience for you guys. So hopefully it's been a great cruise so far. Yeah. Cruise 4 going strong, 4 going on 44. I don't know when I'm leaving. I've got my sign-off date, which is 7777 of 7777. So next time you guys see me, I'll literally be attached to this staircase. Can't move me. So yeah, it's been good though. Any other questions, Coach?
You gonna miss me?
Am I gonna miss you? Yes, I'm gonna miss your wife more. She's lovely. Usually got a phone attached to you. Well, thank you Coach for your questions. Who else got another? I know this young man. Yeah, what was your question here?
Yeah, so I'm not trying to provide a hack or anything.
Oh, a hack. We like hacks down
But
here.
when we were watching kind of the peer runners yesterday,
Yeah.
how late do you really have to be to get left?
Oh, he's talking about the peer runners. He said, so really, how late can you be without getting left? 3:30. I'm not giving you a hack, and I'm not going to promote your hack.
It's almost 4 o'clock.
He said it was almost 4 o'clock. So listen, I'll tell you this. The ship has to leave, has to set sail at 4 o'clock. We cannot be attached to the dock. We must be off the dock by 4. Every minute we're late, it costs the company cheddar. All right? Like $1,000 a minute. Something ridiculous, okay? So by 4 o'clock, we have to have the ropes in, the gangways in. That itself takes about 15, 20 minutes, right? We have to get clearance from the officers to say, right, you guys are good to go. We got to make sure that all of our papers are all done and we got all of our papers back from them. And if anyone is missing, we only have about the 5-minute window to find them, locate them, and get their passport, get their bags, and get it off the ship so they have a way to get home, right? So the reason we say back on board is 3:30 is because there is so much that has to happen in that 30-minute gap. The last thing we can be doing is waiting for Coach to stop drinking at the bar to get back to the ship. And also, every minute you're late from debarking a port, then it means you're going to get in that many minutes late to the next port unless the captain absolutely hauls it, which isn't good for the ship and good for the engine. So we make sure you guys get back in plane time. I know you can see the pier runners. We love to watch the pier runners in Cozumel because they think they're running in a straight line, but really it looks like they're playing snake on the pier. Ridiculous. But yeah, they want to make sure that they're here on time. And sometimes like the short excursions are late if the boat broke down or something like that. We don't move, and we know that, and that's kind of the risk that we run. That's why we work with the best operators out in the ports of call because they're timely, they're efficient. But if it's running late, sometimes you see people like a big group come back. That'll be a short excursion. That's from Carnival, and we don't move until they come back, and that's our guarantee, which is why you always book with us. So sometimes the people come back at 3:54, 3:45. And those people, they're the reason you guys cheer super, super loud. Because if y'all get into Galveston late, y'all gonna be finding them. It's their fault, right? So yeah, and usually I stay out there as late as I can so that then people see me out there and they're coming down the gang, they're like, all right, Kendall's still here, they aren't leaving me. But if I go inside and y'all are still on the pier, y'all better really start running. Because they're leaving y'all, they won't leave me, but they will leave y'all if y'all are late. So make sure you're back at 2:30. He was like, I was back. I was in line for the burgers at 1. It was a good time. I love Cozumel, but I hate that we leave at 3:30 because I know that a lot of people love it. But between getting everybody back on board and getting back to Galveston and getting you guys there on time, we want to make sure we get all that logistically taken care of. So either way, we had a good time in Cozumel, yeah? Did anyone go to Mr. Sancho's? Don't do it. They water down their drinks. I keep telling y'all this. Get the beer. That's true. That's fair. The beer, they can't water down the beer. They can't. Now I know what that lady was drinking. You got a lovely tan from where your sunglasses were. The rest of your face is super brown, and then you just got like raccoon eye right here. She said, the beer did it to me. There's another question in the back. Yes, ma'am. What was your question? I think Sarah's coming around. No need to shout. What's your name and where are you from?
I'm Karen from Austin, Texas.
Hi, Miss Karen. All in Austin. We got some family here. Karen, what's your question?
I love the reduced capacity. I know it's temporary, but how much longer do you think we're going to be able to do this? I've got budget cruises till Christmas. And
Not long enough. Not long enough. I love it. I really do because everyone gets a chance to come and see everything. There's enough space in all the venues. There's not a bunch of lines on Lido Deck. I love it. Next week, so this week we have 2,900 guests on. Next week we have 2,900 guests on. Then it jumps up to 3,300. The next group of that, it's 3,300. But then it goes back down to 2,900. So it really just depends on, how many I guess are booking. I think they're slowly trying to open the capacity up. I don't really know. They said it was going to be like this for maybe a month or two, and obviously we're just now going into our second month. I love it. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a bottom line. We have to make sure we get people on the ship because people want to come back to it and they want to sail. But it does make a massive difference to the experience. And I didn't think it would until I saw the lines on Lido. And that is where usually you will always see a line, no matter the time of day. You gotta wait at least 3-4 minutes to get yourself some food, which isn't a long time. You wait 3-4 minutes in a drive-through to get convenience. 3-4 minutes for gourmet food on a line served by amazing chefs. You can wait. But still, having no lines up there makes a massive difference. And you can always get a seat in the lounges. You can see the comedy shows. You can always get a chair on Lido whenever there's a reduced capacity. So it is something I'm going to miss about the startup process. But end of the day, I want to make sure that we've got everyone that wants to sail on board and have space. Because we got the space for them. We just got to make sure we're taking it nice and easy so the CDC stays happy and that they see that we're doing our job correctly and that everyone keeps their hands clean and they cover their mouth when they're coughing and sneezing and we're doing the right things. So maybe a couple months, maybe. They are ramping it up. It's going to happen. When are you coming back? The Miracle. For the Miracle will still be at capacity, a minimum capacity because they just started sailing 3 days ago, something like that. Just a couple days ago. So they'll still be at that limited capacity for a longer than the Vista will be. But by Christmas, I fully believe we'll probably be back to full capacity.
I'm excited about it. I'm glad Carnival's doing great, and I just want to keep cruising.
Oh, absolutely. Me too, right? We just want to keep cruising. Amen. Lawrence, did you have a question over there? What's your name, lovely?
Hi, Dee Dee Bean from San Antonio, Texas.
Is your name Dee Dee Bean?
Dee Dee Bean.
Dee Dee Bean! I love that. My cousin works at the San Marcos, not the San Marcos. She works at the Neiman Marcus there. She's got purple hair. She's got a big old tattoo on her chest. Tell her I said hello.
I will tell you something.
What's the question, Dee Dee Bean?
Okay, are you married? Are you dating? You can always fair.
Am I married or am I dating? I am dating. Very not married though. Her finger is very lonely. It's actually not. She doesn't need to be tied down right now. I've been dating somebody for 3 years. We are allowed to date on ships, which makes life a lot more normal. If you didn't date, let me tell you, I'm not dating on ships as well. That's just a mess. Just a mess. But I do have a boyfriend. He works here on board the ship. Yeah. Very cute. What? Who? Dee Dee Bean, that didn't come from your mouth. You're like a ventriloquist. Somebody 3 seat over asked a question and said, I'm Dee Dee Bean. You wanna know who? Lawrence, come on now. No, he works on the ship. And he works in the entertainment department. Oh, keeping him close to home. He's English.
Joey!
Any guesses?
Joey!
Joey! It is Joey. I feel like I broke that woman's heart back there. She's like, no, I'm not Joey. No, it is Joe. I don't think he's here. I think he hid today. I think he's sleeping in the cabin somewhere. Usually he's here and he always gets a really big round of applause. He's like, thank you, I know. But I would say that if you ask Joey what's it like to date Kindle Fire, he wouldn't be able to tell you because he doesn't date Kindle Fire. He just dates Kindle, regular Kindle, because no one can really date Kindle Fire. She is too hot to handle and too bold to hold, let me tell you. But yeah, so dating on board is fun. We dated for about 3 years. We met on the Carnival Horizon whenever we were both there as Fun Squad. Our first date was in Cucina, the Italian restaurant on board. Very cute. Second date was Santorini, so I kept him. I'm not even kidding, you guys. It was amazing. It was a great second date. He sold his house to pay for the vacation, and it worked out. And ever since then, he doesn't let me forget it. What was your second question, Dee Dee?
It was just on.
Oh, it was Rhonda. It's my birthday girl, Rhonda.
Hey, in 3 weeks,
and I'm sad to leave today.
No.
Yeah, I know, it's been wonderful. I want to tell you, the staff and the crew have been outstanding. I've watched them hustling to bring it all together, and they've really hit the ground running. I appreciate it. I have a question.
Oh.
I'm booked in September to come back with an adult daughter that's not vaccinated, and I'm wondering if there's been any change to let them on board if they pay for their own vaccination.
So as of now, there's not been any changes as far as I know from y'all's side. I do ask for clarification. Are you guys, if you were vaccinated, did you guys get a test to come on board? Okay, duly noted. Moving on quickly before anyone causes a riot. As far as I know, there has not been any changes. I've got loads of friends back home. I mean, from Texas. It was either one way or the other. Either you got the vaccination or you didn't want to get it. Right? I'm not going to go into politics, but as of now, it's still fully vaccinated cruises, except for that 5%, which is for those conditional guests. We are a family fun ship, which we don't want to ever feel like, children can't come on board. So usually that 5% goes to those that physically could not get the vaccination or for the children, because we want to make sure we're still providing that family fun vacation. And at the end of the day, the whole reason we're getting people vaccinated or asking to be vaccinated to sail is for your safety, especially with the Delta variant out right now. I am not speaking on behalf of anyone else but myself. I know that I want my family to be safe, and if they came on, I would want them to be safe and in a safe environment. So that is why we're going with the vaccinated cruises as of now. It could change. It could change by then if she doesn't want to get vaccinated. September is a little bit close. Keep an eye on any emails that come through. Please check your emails, because I know they're sending loads and loads and loads of emails, but they hold very, very pertinent information. So make sure you're reading those emails. It could change. Through the 4 weeks we've had absolutely amazing numbers. We've had no big issues. Everyone has been super healthy and safe. The policies we put into place are working really, really well. The protocols we put in place for both guests and crew alike are working phenomenally. We've not had anything happen, knock on wood, touch wood, and we want to continue to go on that uphill climb, right? So we want to make sure that we're continuing to progress and continue to get better. So who knows, by September things may change, but if she wants to for sure sail, I would say as long as you've got the vaccination, then you're good. I'm sorry. Tell her I miss her though. I tell her I want her here, so check it out. Yes, sir. What's going on?
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Still with the company, and where do you go?
Oh, 10 years from now? Oh my gosh, I'll be 36. I'm not gonna be able to wobble at 36. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'm really bad for planning ahead. The biggest thing I planned in my life ahead was this job that I am in right now. In 2016, like I said earlier, I said I was gonna be a cruise director, and 2013, I said I was gonna be a cruise director, and 5 years later, I made that a reality, right? So that was my 5-year plan. Now I'm doing it. Now I'm like, right, what am I gonna do next? How do you top being a cruise director, bringing out ships after a pandemic, the longest pause in history?
What's the next step for any cruise director
The
then?
next step for any cruise director would be taking out a brand new ship. So like that's my next immediate goal, but I want to do that in the next year. Like I don't want to wait 5 years to be the top of the charts, the creme de la creme. I want that to be next year. That's why I'm grinding now, because that celebration, that Carnival celebration is coming out in 2020, doesn't have a cruise director yet. I want it. That's right. So that's the immediate goal. If it's not the celebration, there's the third XL ship after that. We got the other ship that's coming through. That's the biggest step after you become a cruise director. Not only just to stay stagnant, like, oh, I'm a cruise director, but to continue to grow in the position to not only just be a cruise director, but to be a star-studded, stellar, absolutely 100% guaranteed good time cruise director. And that's my current goal. 10 years, I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't. I don't even know what the world's gonna look like in 10 years, let alone my job. So, I mean, if you wanna know what I'm gonna look like in 10 years, it's gonna look like this. Oh, hang on, let me turn on my clicker. It'll work better if my clicker's on. I'm gonna look like this. Oh, no, that's what I'm gonna look like in 10 years. That's my mom. Is she just like me? That's scary. We look identical. And in about 50 years, I'm gonna look like the lady in red. I'll go blonde. I was so mad when she dyed her hair blonde. That's my nanny. They're actually gonna be here in 2 weeks. I'm so excited. They're avid cruisers. So if anything, 10 years from now, I'm just gonna retire and be a platinum guest and never leave the cruise ship. But yeah, they cruise all the time, my family. And this is actually what it looked like. Oh, no, wrong way again. That was my very first cruise when I was 7 years old on the Carnival Fascination and it sparked the fire in me. Get her with her little missing teeth. And that photo bomber in the back, his name was Dave. Dang it, Dave, ruining a cute picture. But like my family was such a typical family. They had the matching t-shirts and my dad and my brother always had their little Caribbean shirts to get on with. And then we discovered that we could make our own t-shirts. And then we've got blankets of all the t-shirts that we made. And my brother, when he turned 18, he had a shirt that said, "There's nothing minor about this package." Ridiculous. So yes, we've been on the shirts for forever. So I don't know what 10 years looks like from now. It's probably gonna look very similar to what I'm doing right now. John Hill. Look, you said I'm gonna be like John Hill in 10 years? I think it takes longer to get suspenders that big. Oh, I love that man. That's why I can talk trash to him. Yes, Sarah, what's this man's name? What's your name?
Rick from Houston, Texas.
Rick from Houston, Texas. Hi, Rick. What's your question?
My question is that my niece, 7 years old,
Yeah.
her first cruise.
Yeah.
We got a letter late to go on a short excursion because she is not vaccinated.
Right.
So my question is this: can there be an advance notice for us to do things or put something on the internet about that?
Yeah, so there should have been, again, I'm speaking under the information that I have been aware of. There is waivers that you guys sign before you get on if you are an unvaccinated guest. There is information that is given to you if you are going to sail as an unvaccinated guest. That is within the information. I know, like I said, there's a lot of information in there. There's a lot of jargon. There's a lot of little words. But again, it is covering all those things, the emails that have been sent. Don't have access to your personal email. I don't know what has been sent. I don't know when it was sent, how far in advance it was sent. But I do know that information should have been disseminated prior to you getting on, because they say that whenever you guys get on, you already know all that information, which is why I don't come out right and say, "Oh, this, by the way, da 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 da," because that information has been given to you guys beforehand. Like, so whenever you guys get on and you sign all those waivers, all that information is in all that information, as well as emails that have been sent to you guys. So I know that you guys got like bubble tours that were available for you, but you can't get off the ship otherwise. So that's definitely been something that is supposed to be, and as far as my knowledge, has been disseminated to you, to your emails prior to getting on board. So just, again, I don't know when it was sent or how it's worded, or if it was something that was missed maybe. It's supposed to be given to you guys beforehand, so if you're sailing with unvaccinated guests, then you would get information prior to the cruise. I can double check and just send a quick email and just say, "Hey, can we get a letter, just copy of it, what they're actually getting sent and when they're getting sent it," just so we can kind of know on our side that you guys have that information. But it has been told us, it's been disseminated prior to y'all even getting on board. So hopefully that happened. If it didn't happen, I do apologize. Hopefully you guys had a great cruise either way. Was your short excursion good? Yeah, what'd you guys do?
Me, my nephew, and my daughter.
Yeah.
We went snorkeling, ziplining,
You went snorkeling and ziplining
and jet ski.
and jet skiing. That's a triple threat combo right there. Well, I hope the kids had a good time on that one. And plus, we've also got the water slides. If you haven't gone on the Kaleido slide, I don't care how old you are, that in and of itself is an adventure. So check that one out as well. Lawrence, you got someone in the back. What's going on?
Hi, Virgil Menez from Spring, Texas, just north of Houston.
Hello, Virgil. What's going on?
Hey, really satisfied with the service, the crew, and everything.
Thank
My
you.
question is, this is our 5th or 6th cruise
Yeah.
on board Carnival. And the question is, we initially booked about sometime like February
Yeah.
online, and the initial cost was $12.50
Mhm.
per person. And my son said that's too high, and he called.
Looking out for his
He
dad.
called online. I'm not sure if this question was already answered.
Sure.
And it was lowered down to $11.50.
Yeah.
Plus, we were given $200 credit.
Sure.
$100 each. Cruising with some other passengers and talking to them, they said that they only paid like $400.
Yeah.
I was just wondering how we could avail, a lower cruise rate than what we paid for.
So I don't know normal cruise rates. It's one of those things that's way above my pay grade. But I do know that there's usually like pack and plays that come in a couple weeks beforehand. So basically, if we are filling the ship up, and if there's like spare rooms, and again, every room is a different rate. Every cost is different for depending on where you get on the ship. Not only do you get a balcony on deck 7, a balcony on deck 7 costs different than what a balcony on deck 14 would cost, right? So every person is different. So if you're talking to them, they may have been in an interior stateroom, which is way cheaper than a balcony, right? So every room comes at a different rate. And in addition, when you book, changes the price range, because at the end of the day, there's those specials that you could get at the very end. They could have booked with a travel agent, a PVP, that could have gotten them a travel agent rate. So it depends on the person you go with. I always suggest booking with a PVP because they get massive discounts. They get the inside scoop. They know when the time is to book and when you would book for that season, when you would book for that ship, when you book that voyage, that run. And so I would always say, if you're gonna book, I mean, I know that it's super easy to book online by yourself, but a PVP, a personal vacation planner, booking through Carnival is gonna be your best bet to always get that best bang for your buck, because they, like I said, have the inside scoop. They get discounts upon discounts upon discounts. I don't know why your variation of why your room would have costed less or costed more than whoever paid $450. My guess is that they either booked at a different time, they got a different stateroom, or they used a vacation planner for sure. So check that out.
Follow up.
Yeah.
I have follow up.
Okay.
Follow up. Is it true, or if you book about 2 weeks or a month before the cruise date, they check on availability? If the cruise is not full, they will give you a better rate?
So like I said, so if there's extra rooms on the ship and they were trying to get the ship full, or they've got a special, so basically like a flash sale, right? So it's just like whenever you've got too much stock of one thing at a store, you put it on flash sale to fill up those rooms. So absolutely, there is definitely chances for you guys to get better bookings deals closer to, but again, they're not going to be like the premier cabins, the Havana suites. You're not going to find things like that are booked out. You're going to get like a flash sale on an interior cabin on deck 1. So it's never something that's like going to be the premier ones that everyone's looking for. But if you're just looking to just get on the ship, hey, I always stayed in an interior cabin when I cruise, because all I do is sleep in there, right? Otherwise, I'm out, I'm going around. And the balconies are beautiful, and the Havana cabins are beautiful. But if I'm looking for a deal, I'm looking for one that's an interior cabin, a couple dollars a day. That's all I need. I just need a bed and a door that closes and a shower, and I'm good to go. So you'll definitely find the things that will, a couple weeks out, like I said, you'll get those flash sales. But sometimes if the ship is full, then you won't get them. So it's very much, if you're a non-planner, then that's your option. But if you're a planner and you want to get that right cabin on that right floor and that right time on that right week, then you obviously need to plan ahead. But if you're, some of the people, like especially retired people, my diamond and my platinum guests, they could book, I've got someone that booked 4 days ago before the ship started sailing. They used to book 4 days before the ship set sail. And they're in like an interior cabin on deck 1 at the front of the ship, far away from everything, but they're here. And that's all they care about, right? So it just depends on your situation for sure. Good questions, Verge. Thanks. What's going on down here?
Well, I was just going to say, follow up on his, if you keep checking the cost of your cruise for the duration, like let's say you paid $1,500 or whatever, if he notices that it drops to say $1,200 or $1,000, he can call his PVP back or call Carnival, and they will give him the difference in onboard credit.
Oh, okay, Verge, that's good information. That's probably why you got that $100 onboard credit. What he was saying is, if you see that there's a massive price change in the cabin, whenever, call your PVP that you booked with, and sometimes they can wiggle room where they can actually give you the onboard credit in return. So basically, like you said, the reason that you guys got that $100 onboard credit each was because the price value of that cabin changed. And so they gave you an onboard credit, the difference that you paid. So then you get $100 back on onboard credit. So basically, round it all off, get a PVP, because they're the ones that are going to save you that money. All right. Sarah, who do we got over there?
Hi, I'm Gwen from Longview, Texas.
Hi, Gwen.
Hi. This cruise has been different. Me and my family, we're the group from 30. The little girl that you said.
my two little girls?
Little girls that was
Build-A-Bear babies.
Okay, so we haven't been able to do Camp Carnival.
Yeah, I
and
know.
they were really looking forward to that. So do y'all have an estimate of when y'all will do it? And why weren't we told that it wasn't gonna be available?
Again, this is stuff that should have been disseminated prior to y'all getting on board. This is the information that we're getting that it is disseminated to y'all. So make sure you're checking your emails, and if it's not, let us know, because that is something that we need to be letting you guys know ahead of time. The reason that Camp Carnival is not open is A, because the children cannot be vaccinated. So that then puts the children at risk being in a room with other children, as well as puts the camp staff at risk, even if they are vaccinated. So we want to make sure we're taking all the right steps to make sure that you guys are staying safe. But in addition to that, with the low numbers, the camp, it's not enough people to go into the camp to run the actual camp facilities. So once the numbers go up for the children, the count for the kids to go up, that's when they're gonna open up more of those options. But again, it comes down to taking care of the safety and health of the children and the crew, number one, first and foremost, because there's so many other things they can do on the ship. They can go and hang out with you guys around the ship. They've got coloring books, they've got different little games they can play, they can go upstairs, but they can't, the reason we've not done that can't do it, but it's because we want to make sure that the safety of the children is coming first and not the fun, right? So fun can't come before safety. So as long as we can provide a safe and healthy environment for the children, even though they are unvaccinated, we want to make sure they can do that properly. So the more the kids go up, the count the kids go up, the more and more we're going to open for the kids to do. I know that because I miss doing Susapalooza parades and story time, but because there's not enough kids that would be doing it, we're not doing that right now. So some of the programming, because of the guidelines from the CDC, the guidelines from our superiors in Carnival Corporation, they have decided to cut some of those things until we can get a little bit more clearance, until we got a little bit more wiggle room to kind of put our regular programming back in. But definitely take a look at your emails and see if there's information, because there should be, especially for selling with the vaccinated guests, that information should be in there. And if it's not, then we need to know so we can make sure that's added in to the welcome letter for you guys. I love those little girls though. They are so stinking cute. They had their hair out on Elegant Night. They teased it real big. They were little baby lions. So beautiful. Yes, sir. What's going on? Michael from Houston. What's your question?
My question is, like, in say you and Joey's situation, or there's another couple married or not married. If you move up and start a new, a new cruise ship, would he be able to come with you, or does he have to stay in the position he's at, or how does that work?
So how does it work if there's a situation where I'm with somebody and I get moved up to another ship? Do they get to just come with me because they're on along for the ride? Not always. I mean, Carnival does a really, really great job of making sure that couples stay together, because it's not just me. Like couples that are married, like they hook, lined, and sinkered them, right? They're married forever. They link IDs, they work together, they try and get on the same ships. Carnival does a really, really great job of taking care of us and making sure that we're on the same ships together. But sometimes there's not that position at the same time. Maybe it's 6 weeks later they can get on board, or they get on earlier than you and they have to leave earlier than you. So it comes down to the ship and the position. It's very specific. It's easy for me and Joey because we are both in entertainment. And so it's usually there's a lot of turning over, and we don't always come in and leave at the same time. So it's been a little bit easier for us, but there's been times that we have been on the same ship. And just because I'm in my position doesn't mean I get to be like, right, I want this person on my team, and this person on my team, and this person on my team. It's very much a matter of if we have the availability, then we have the opportunity, right? So but Carnival does an amazing job of making sure people that are, either they're dating, and then they want to get linked, and then they live in the same cabins, and they're like a little family. But we do have to try and sort out between the people that are actually in a relationship and those that just met at the crew party and all of a sudden are in love and want a cabin together, but then they break up a week later. So we have to, the HR has got a tough job to do to sort out the strong from the miserly. We got time for just a couple more. This young lady right here has been waiting. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm from Alabama. There's
Oh,
a lot
Roll
of Texas
Tide.
here. War Eagle.
Oh, go on, War Eagle.
How often do you get off the ship and enjoy the excursions, and when you're back in Texas, do you get off and people bring you stuff, or?
So how often do we get off the ships? I would say, used to, before the pandemic hit, we were able to get off at every port as long as we weren't working, right? We were able to go on excursions, we were able to go to the beach, we were able to go to the bar, and have one drink, singular, not a lot of drinks. And now, because of the pandemic, obviously we want to make sure we're taking every precaution. I don't want to sound like a repeated bird, but I have been without a job for 15 months. I worked at Bath & Body Works. I do not want to risk anything to go back there. I want to stay on my luxury cruise liner. I want to stay right here. So I will stay on the ship as long as I need to. As of right now, we're able to get off in Galveston and go to like the grocery store, go to, get a beverage or a food somewhere, and then get back on if we need to. There's a little place we can go and get our packages sent to us. If you're not working, again, if you're not working, you're allowed to get off. And then the ports are called, it's a Carnival Cruise Line port, like in Roatan, that entire port was built by Carnival, so we can get off and stay within the port. Or in Cosmo, we're allowed to stay within the shopping center. So if you guys saw in Cosmo, a lot of crew members eating at either Ponchos, Fat Tuesdays, or Three Amigos, it's because we can't actually leave the port right now. We were able to a couple weeks ago, but they just want to make sure that we're keeping keeping our backsides covered. So once we get a little bit further along, they'll kind of open those doors back up. And we used to be able to go on all sorts of excursions as well, which is why I've done loads of excursions, like the Stingray excursions, the Dolphins excursions, the zip lining excursions, the Mayan ruin places. All those are really, really great excursions. What's happening? Is someone flashing at me? Yeah. Oh my gosh, they're telling me my time's up. So we usually able to do that. Right now, we're just kind of on like a little bit of shore leave, and then eventually it'll open all the way back up to full on rocking and rolling. But yeah, that's a good question. I got time for one more question. She's been sitting here. We're gonna get this young lady right here up in front, and then we're gonna get started with our presentation. Yes, my love.
Hi, Shelley from Corpus Christi, Texas.
Oh, we'll do both. Yeah, Shelley from Corpus Christi, what's going on?
What is your favorite thing to eat on the boat?
Why are you gonna do that to me, Shelley? What's my favorite thing to eat on this ship? Cucina del Capitan. End of discussion. It's the spaghetti carbonara at Cucina del Capitan. It is the most heavenly thing in all the whole world. It tastes like just butter and deliciousness and no guilt all in your mouth at one time. It is delightful. Has anyone gone to Cucina yet? Y'all are missing out if you haven't. For those that have been, y'all know what I'm talking about. That bread is like crack. It's like, it just melts. And then all of a sudden you've eaten 10 pieces and you have no idea where time has gone, and you're speaking Italian and your hands just automatically form like this. It's so good. And like, it's $15, so go up there and enjoy yourself. Come on now. Right, and then what was your question down here?
I was just curious, since you showed a picture of your family, did your brother take the same career?
Did my brother become a cruise director? Oh, we are all together different. So in this picture, I don't actually know where to go. Where is he at? Come here, Bubs. So Kyle there, he looks so dweeby. He hates that I use this picture every week. Kyle is now he wouldn't even fit through that fascination sign. He is 6'7", about 300 pounds, and just all manly man-made, right? He's just a big old boy. He played sports when he grew up. He did baseball. He never played basketball. Broke my dad's heart. We didn't have football in Brock, Texas, where I went, this little 2A school where I grew up at. Small town. Didn't have football, but he's built like a linebacker. So when we went to college, they were like, "What? How much you weigh?" He was like 300 pounds, and he was like, "Yeah, come over here, come here." And he went and played for football in college, and then he became a kinesiology major, and then now he does nothing to do with kinesiology. It's quality assurance for a pharmaceutical company. But no, he was very shy. I don't know what it was. Maybe his sister never let him get a word in edgewise. But he was really shy. And then as soon as he shot up to 6 foot, he was like, "I'm a ladies' man now." And then he had nothing to do with me. He was just out. He was not doing anything. But no, he's definitely more a kinesiology, sports kind of guy. He's not really big into public speaking. This would terrify him. 6'7", big old weenie. Oh, night and day. Although I did buy a house with him, I don't know whose idea that was. But it's worked out pretty well. I decorated it, I made the decisions, he pays the bills. Yeah, me and my brother, I know. I know how to get a picture of him whenever he looks like a grown-up now, because he'll be so mad that he's not like shown in his prime. This is not his prime. He's like, "I am a fat kid. What are you doing putting me on the stage like that?" Listen, if you guys have got any other questions, I'm going to stick around afterwards, so make sure you guys are sticking around. But we got